Hey there, and welcome to Accelerator Week 1, Module 5, the Uniform of Success and the Veil of Failure. So here's what I'm going to cover. Number 1, the uniform of failure and what to spot. Number 2, if you are prone to a negative mindset. Number 3, open the possibility of a new you. Number 4, stop being, less than the best version of yourself. Number 5, recruitment search is simple. Number 6, the big pitfalls. Number 7, there is no reason why. Number 8, some friendly competition. And number 9, the perfectly engineered change agents. Let's jump in. So first off, the uniform of failure and what to spot. Now this has come from, a decade of coaching, leading, working with, partnering with, building recruitment search business owners' businesses together. Now, the biggest thing that will define the degree of success is the action you take. And the action you take will be defined by your mindset. And it's one of those things that I sometimes think, should I really be detailed in mindset to the degree that I wish to? For me personally, I've known about mindset since about 1996. Up until then, so at that point I was 23. I was about to go into an interview with Nomura, which is the biggest, at the time I think it's the biggest Japanese investment bank in the world. I didn't know that. I was from a small town, and I've been to university, did a degree in business and marketing. Then I worked in a Tesco's warehouse, like a big Walmart warehouse, for about 6 months a year. What am I doing? And then I went off to London and got an interview. And I was in this bookshop, and essentially, so I'm going into this investment bank, and I've come from a background whereby we had an outside toilet, and had a great childhood, but a completely different world. So I've gone to this bookshop, and I'm reading books on bonds, books on gilts, etc., etc. And this book just jumped out at me, and it was called Notes from a Friend by Tony Robbins. If you've not read that book, I strongly recommend that you do. Again, Notes from a Friend by Tony Robbins. It's only short. You can probably read it in 30, 40, 50 minutes. That book changed my life. Up until that point, I didn't realize that I can control my thoughts. I just believed how you wake up in the morning or what happens to you, it just happens. I didn't know I could control my thoughts. So the biggest thing I can say with this, after 10 years, more than 10 years of doing this, is your mindset will detail your degree of success. So, uniform of failure and what to spot. Forget you only have 2 options. Number 1, in 3 years, I'm going to have a business I'm going to sell, or it's set up to be a cash machine. So it might be set up so you bring in a dividend of $750 per year. Or, other option, you can go back to what you were doing before, pre getting here, i.e. what didn't work. So it might be cold calling, it might be sat at your desk doing ad hoc, go on LinkedIn for 25 minutes, connect with people, and just be completely erratic. Forget you've got those 2 options, okay? Forget those 2 options to start with. Get into this mindset. You're here to change your life. So everything you're going through has been done before. There isn't one strategy you're going to go through that's not been proven countless times. I don't mean 5 times, I mean hundreds of times. So you're here to change. So know what you're about to go through works, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, get into that state of, number 1, in 3 years, I'm going to sell my business, or it's set up in this way. Forget number 2. So, uniform of failure. You're not going to expand as a business owner. So I've said on the previous modules, you are a business owner, not a recruiter. So really get this. Whether you're a startup and this year you want to do 150K, you want to do 15 placements at 10K, or it could be you're dealing with you're in the temp industry, whatever your number is, get this, you're a business owner, okay? You're a business owner. Now, it could be you've been in business for 10 years and you can adapt your mindset and adopt a business owner mindset pretty easily, or it might be that you're going to struggle with it. But get this, you're a business owner. So don't allow yourself not to expand as a business owner. And what will happen is, if you do expand as a business owner, you're going to stand 2 inches taller. Your chest will come out an extra inch. You're going to feel stronger. You're going to then be more confident. You're going to be a better human. You'll be a better dad. So on the other side, the antithesis, you don't expand as a business owner. You're going to try a few things. You're going to watch a video here and there and do an hour there, 2 hours there, and then going to be completely erratic with it. And you're going to say to yourself, well, there's another thing I've not made successful. Or you might say, well, this doesn't work for me. No, don't allow it to happen. Don't allow yourself not to expand as a business owner. And in turn, not expand as a human, not expand as a dad. Make this your time where your confidence grows. Now, for me personally, if I'm improving in life, even by 1%, if my ability to do Muay Thai is Thai boxing, so they call it the art of 8 limbs. So you use your fists, use your elbows, use your knees, and use your shins. And I first did that, well, in fact, it was around about when I lost everything. It was in the previous modules. And I went down to Thailand to a place called Horizon, which was in Koh Phangan in a cliff in the jungle. Never done it before. Day one broke my toe. But I love it. It's a very respectful sport, and it's very articulate and very skilled. Now, if I'm improving by 1% a week, or if my ability to skip, which I'm rubbish at, improves by 1% a week, I'm happy. So think about this. What you want to make sure you do now is improve. If someone else they've doubled their revenue in 3 months and you haven't, focus on you. Just focus on progress. Now, my team will testify to this. I live and breathe this model. Now, we've got very clear targets. This is a target, whether it be delivery, whether it be service, whether it be leads. We've got very clear targets. But one of the things that I've always been, what I've been told very cool at is this. If we've got a problem, I'm happy. So Andy, we've got this problem. Half our members didn't get an email. Okay, do we know what the problem is? Do we know how to fix it? Yes, it's already done. Great, no worries. Let's not do it again though, huh? So if we've got a problem, we know how to fix it, I'm happy. When we got a problem and I don't know how to fix it, that's when I get frustrated. So as a business owner, just focus on 1% progress and focus on you're going to get a problem. Regardless of this program, tomorrow, next week, the week after, something will come in your inbox and it's going to blow you away. We had a member about 2 years ago, fantastic member. We usually get together 3 times a year in London as a group. So on these programs, get together live in London. And this member is an absolute ray of energy. He'd come bounding in. He was a wonderful member. He joined us doing about 300,000-400,000, I think, at that point. I remember in that session, he announced he was on 1.1 million, which is great. It wasn't even through the entire year because we did the events in February, March, summer, and about September. And this guy was an absolute ray of energy. However, we got a call about a year later, and this call was went through to one of the team, and it was, hey, this guy's in a head of a state. So he's part of the inner circle as it was then. So right, just give him a call, 50-minute call. This guy, we're going to get it sorted out. So jumped on the call, knew what the problem was beforehand because we got it documented. Anyway, within probably 7 minutes, it was fixed. It was a tax problem. He had a tax problem. But what happened is he got himself into a state whereby he had this tax bill come in, and got into a panic state. The reality was, A, the tax was incorrectly calculated, and B, what it actually did was identify some opportunities for him to actually grow. He had some problems in the business he actually hadn't seen in terms of operational side of things. The point I'm making is this: your business is going to have problems. So be that human whereby you're changing your game and you're progressing by 1%. Ideally, it's a lot more than that, but you're progressing and you're feeling proud and confident with yourself. So when problems come into your domain, into your world, you can deal with them stronger. And guess what? You'll become a stronger human, a stronger spouse, a stronger dad, stronger mum. So let this be the vehicle for you to be the new you. Next uniform of failure. It won't work for me. This ain't going to work for me. My niche is different. So two phrases I've heard literally thousands of times. And when I say literally thousands, I mean literally thousands of times. We are different because. My niche is different because. Now, we've got niches from, well, everything you can imagine. From the highest level, Fortune 500 C-suite CEOs, we've got administration staff working in a factory. So this is your internal block. You're trying to find an excuse. Next, you question everything. Yeah, but what? Yeah, but what? So every time you do that, you're spending a minute questioning it. You're now creating a negative spiral. You're going to take less action. So all you're doing is shooting yourself. Stop it. You're here to change. Internal language. I am different because. We are different because. Now, I love that because when someone says that to me, usually it means they are saying we're different because we care about our clients more, or we do this more, or we've got a higher track record, whatever it might be. And it's great we've got that view of ourselves, so we should do. However, leads, conversion, delivery. Whether it be a 250k placement fee or it be a £200 placement fee. Next, using conversations as a replacement for action. So rather than actually do it, let's have a conversation about it. Let's start a discussion about it. Let's speak to someone about it. Yeah, but what if you consider if that doesn't happen, or just do it. Just do it. The worst thing you'll do is get a bad metric. That can be fixed. Next, ask them about how it will work for you and how X relates to Y, and try to understand everything from an academic perspective. Now, this is one of my flaws. I want to know the bigger picture. But also, I've paid hundreds of thousands for mentoring courses, over 7 figures in my lifetime. I'm there to learn. I'm there to learn. And older you get, the more open, I guess, to learning. But you're here for a reason. So focus on the now thing. The now thing. If you don't get to milestone 1, milestone 7 doesn't happen. Next, speak to other members about what you should do before actually getting a result to discuss. So it might be you're about to run a strategy and you see someone else has run that strategy. Hey Steve, do you mind if I give you a call about the strategy? Yeah. Well, I've not done it yet. What can go wrong? Well, it's laid out in the document. How about you do it? Maybe you get a problem and then you give them a call. So you focus about actually getting something fixed, or you get a result. How do I scale this result? Next, playing victim and blame others. Now, you won't do that. But again, if we say it's because of this, we lose our power. Always be accountable. Always be accountable. I did this thing. I've got this result, cause and effect. If you do that, you hold your power. Now, if you're prone to a negative mindset, and you may not be, but you may be. This last year and a half, 2 years, more so for some people, it's been crazy. So, I've seen very cool friends wither from this, this change in, socialization which has happened. So it might not be you're prone to it. It might be that it's sort of being forced on you. But if you're aware of it, then you can fix it. It's like, when they go, that people go to AA and they say, hey, my name's Steve, I'm an alcoholic. Because you're accepting you've got this thing, you can fix it. So if you can see that you may be getting into a negative spiral, you can fix it. I know myself, I go to the gym, listen to music. Some days I'm going to be buzzing because of the music. Other days I'm going to come out feeling a little bit flat. However, if I went to YouTube and put on a motivational video, I'm probably going to come out and say, right, today's my bitch. So be aware of what drives you, your input, your stimulus. So nothing you do is more important than taking action. If you don't take action, then that's essentially failure. That's failure. One of the biggest bugbears, it doesn't happen so much now, is it's not working. Have you done it yet? No. Or it's not working. How many have you sent? 10. Well, you need to be testing on a couple hundred. So just be aware about, this is your business. This is your business. Next, every time you get a metric, what happens is, if you've got a metric, so say, for example, you get on a 10% conversion, you've now got something you can beat. Let's go for 15% next time. What do we tweak? Be aware that things will not work the first time normally. I mentioned Peter on a previous module. It took the ninth cycle, but on that ninth cycle, he had a campaign where he was getting up to 100% conversion, 100% reply from high-level candidates. Now, that's not the norm, but it took him 9 cycles to get there, and his cycle was weekly. When I first started doing, I had a product many years ago called the LinkedIn Blueprint, and it was the 8th webinar I did that I sold my first LinkedIn Blueprint to the recruitment industry. It took me 8 cycles. Then after that, about another 3-4 cycles, I got it optimized. It pretty much ran the same for a year. So know this, that's part of the genius. Because if you're doing the same things in January as you are in March, you haven't got a business, you've still got a job. You should be running something, getting it working in January, getting it converting, starting to scale a bit in February. Then in March, it's handed over to someone else. You don't do it again. If you're doing the same thing over and over, you've still got a job. Know the businesses who 2x to 10x, they fail more. They fail more. So they fail forward. They run something, it didn't work. Run something, it didn't work. And when I say it didn't work, the metric is not as high as I want it to be. So you tweak it, run it again. What's the other option? Get back on the phone. Get back to what you were doing before. But within 3, 4, 5, 6, in Peter's case, 9 cycles, it's now something he repeats. Peter's working 1.5 hours per day. And they 5x'd in that 6 months. Next, they fell forward until they get a metric. So they fell forward until they get a metric, and then they can run it again and again, like Peter. Just mentioned my first lesson, 8 webinar cycles. So taking massive action is key here. And no, it will not be perfect. Your first campaign will probably be your worst one, be your worst campaign. Now, number 3, open the possibility of a new you for the benefit of your business, your spouse, everyone. Now consider this. So the thing is, this could be the next level for you. Now, as entrepreneurs, there is something that happens to us inherently. We can't control it, it just happens. If we get, quote, success in our business, whatever that means to you, it could be financials, it could be hours in the business, it could be size of the business, whatever it might be. We stand 2 inches taller. When we get success, we feel better. We judge ourselves as a human by our business. It's wrong. You know, and you might be going, shit, no one ever says that. But it's true, it's what we do, isn't it? So if we know that, make this now an opportunity for you to jump. Everything you're going through has been done before. So invite that breaking through the comfort level. You know, don't look at a strategy and then get on a call and say, yeah, but do it, get a metric. Even if it's bad, then get on the call with a metric. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. What can you achieve in the next year? If you had to do X in the next year, if you had to bring in $500,000 in the next year, or your family gets shot, could you do it? You're going to make different decisions. So don't be this person who waits. You know, every day you sit and wait. I'll wait till this. I'll wait till that. No. I mentioned Brant on a previous module. You know, Brant had one of the worst websites I've ever seen. Still went from $250,000 to $1 million in his first year with us, in spite of that. So don't create excuses. Don't create excuses. Get it done. Get it done. Now, we mentioned before, business is a scorecard. And at the end of the day, your tax man, no matter it's IRS or wherever you are based in the world, they do not care about your business and the fact that this client backed out at the last minute or this candidate had a change of mind. They do not care. So your scorecard is your business bank. And remove the elephant from the room. That's your first scorecard. What normally happens with a member is, Andy, I want to go from 100K to 500K. Great. Or whatever your number is. And then what happens is typically, right, I want to change my model. I want to go from working 60 hours a week. I want to be working 30 hours a week. And I don't want to be doing any client engagement. Great. So normally there's a number 1, financial. If you want to write it down, a financial goal. The number 2 is a model goal. There's a model goal. And then number 3, when people get to $1 million for the first time in their career, often people want to go into a new niche as well. And most of the time I say no. But financial goal, then we got a model goal. So your taxman doesn't care about what's happened. So we need to treat this as a scorecard, your business. And what you bring into the business is an outcome of the action that you've taken. So you've got to be willing to do whatever it takes. Now, I'm sure you are anyway, but If you combine these strategies and you combine, right, fuck it, this is it now, this is on. This next year is game time. This is game time. The momentum you will create this monster. And that's part of the reason why members stay with us for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, because they go from 100k to 400k, 400k to a million to 2 million. Then they go to a new niche and have a problem. Then we go to next. Always going to have problems in your business. That's what it is. But how about for 1 year, you say, right, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Now it's game time. Now it's game time. Others aren't doing this. And now I'm making a decision. It's on. So leave your stories behind. Model someone, whoever they might be. It might be someone you see on TV. It might be a motivational speaker. I don't know who it is. When I'm embarrassed to say, but also be completely transparent with you as always. When I moved to London, I was from a little West Country town. Went to London, and I'm in the biggest Japanese investment bank in the world. And essentially my first job was printing software bug reports. Exciting, huh? And then I'm sat at a table with the heads of Nomura. And there was a guy there called Martin. And this guy was the coolest guy in the world. He had this pinstripe, this spiky hair. He was just a dude. Anyway, I started walking like him, and I started talking like him, and I started dressing like him. 2 years down the line, we're watching football together. 1998, I think World Cup it was. I think we lost to Argentina. And we became friends and ended up working for him. Now, I'm not saying that you do it so you can work for someone. What I'm saying is, I started taking on this person's characteristics, and before I knew it, he spotted some, quote, talent in me, but really what I've done is model his way of operating. Now, Tony Robbins talks about this. Model what works. So leave your stories behind. Maybe you sit at your desk and you slouch. Maybe you think that you're not deserving. Maybe that you've always been quiet. Maybe you've always been a little bit sheepish. Maybe, no, fuck it. Right. Tomorrow the door opens. Right, I'm this animal. Model someone. You'll be amazed how the world starts to integrate to your world. So if you're going to complain or blame someone else other than yourself, I'm going to tell you to start getting a grip. We're here to win. And you've got it inside you. Now it's game time. So stop being less than the best version of yourself. So that really means stop giving yourself a reason why. Yeah, but I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to do whatever it might be. Stop it. You might have the hardest position in the world. I'm not sure if you've seen the film Pursuit of Happiness, where it's a true story. And Will Smith is in the toilet with his son. He still goes on to become a trader. Now, he's sleeping in a public toilet. So stop giving yourself a reason why, whatever it might be. I suffer from it. I've got 2 young kids. I'm up all night and you fall into that. But no, now it's game time. Now, don't live yourself by other people's standards. It may be everyone else clocks off at 5. But you said, right, for the next year, it's fucking game time. What do I need to do? As Tony Robbins says, who you surround yourself with, you become. The 5 people you surround yourself with, you become. Now, mentors can be online. I'm a heavy user of YouTube and mentors online. Make sure you put good stuff in your head every day. Good stuff in, good stuff out. Change your rituals. Change your rituals. I've seen countless reports, studies over the years that multiple millionaires, billionaires, it becomes from their rituals. The same thing every single day. Now, it's difficult if you've got young kids. It's difficult if you've got older parents you need to go and visit. However, when you have got that time, I've had a change in my life recently where I'm now having to drive between two locations, which are essentially about 100 miles apart. And I'm a dad and then I'm a son. And I'm having to split my time. So it means my time to actually operate has been hit massively, which means I need now to be even more functional at a higher level when I am working. And you become really aware of it. If you've only been given 15 hours a week to work, what are you going to work on? You'd be amazed at what you're doing that's not important. Do not deplete your dopamine levels first thing in the morning. So without being crude on this, but whether it be being sexually self-gratifying, whether it be jumping on your phone, whether it be in the morning, have a ritual to get out of bed. Now, I can't stress this enough. whether you might be a gym person, you're not a gym person. It might be just getting out of bed at 6:30 and then just going for a walk for 15 minutes and you get into this ritual and then it's done. There's a great video on YouTube about it's the admiral from the Navy in the USA, and he says the way to success is, number one, make your bed in the morning. Start with that. If the alarm goes off at 6:30 and you're going, oh no, do a little countdown in your head. 3, 2, 1. There's a lady called, I think Meg Robbins did a study into this. Just count down 3, 2, 1. But start your day in the right way. Now be the hero in your own story. Now this is your time now. This is where it begins. And Joe Rogan, who's got the #1 podcast in the world, UFC commentator, but on his podcast, one week he's got a neurosurgeon, next day he's got a comedian, next day he's got a rocket scientist, next day he's got Elon Musk. It's fabulous. But he's got a great phrase. He says one of the things that changed his life was imagining there's a documentary film crew following everything he does day by day in the background. So he has to be the hero in his own story. So he's imagining that there's a film crew following him around. So you can't sit there and eat Twizzlers all day. So be your own hero. What act is your life in now? Now I mentioned about losing property. I bought a book many, many years ago by a guy called Andy Shaw. And essentially this guy ran a factory with, I can't remember, 200-300 employees. And he's earning 100K. And then he bought property and he was earning millions. Anyway, he had a great book at the time. That's when I started buying property as well. And I had all these spreadsheets, etc. And I went to a motivational event in London. I think it might have been Eric Thomas. And I'm at the train station and about to walk down in the morning. Andy Shaw. We get to the front row. We've got VIP seats. I'm sat next to Andy Shaw. It's like, shit, I bought your book, mate. I bought property based on some of the elements that you were sharing. And then on the way back, we go back to the same train station. Ended up having about 7-8 pints. Anyway, but Andy at that point he'd gone through Act 1. If you think about a film, Act 1, our heroes in a really, really good place. Then Act 2, they lose everything, and he's going through a place of losing everything. I remember saying to him, Andy, maybe it's now time for your Act 3. Yeah, Act 3. Now he's a very motivational person. He didn't need me to lift him at all. But it was my view of what he was telling me. You're about to go into Act 3. Like every film, Rocky film. Act 1, we're doing okay. Act 2, we lose everything. Act 3, we fight back. So where are you in your story? Maybe you're on Act 2. You're on your bum. Now it's time for Act 3. Colonel Sanders, how old was he? So set your goal, make it happen. Don't have an in between. And do this. We don't do it as entrepreneurs. Celebrate. Celebrate. When you get that success, stop, breathe. I've reached 200K. Celebrate. Now, it is simple what we're about to go through. Number 1, client leads and candidate leads. Number 2, convert the client, convert the candidate. Number 3, deliver the candidate. Don't complicate it. This is easier than we think it is. Now, the pitfalls that I've seen over the years. Number 1, not completing the foundation parts. So this is building data sets. Big thing. Simple thing. The biggest problem I've seen over the years is not doing the foundations. So what that means is it could be website, it could be LinkedIn profile, simple things. It could be mapping the market. So how many clients are in my niche? How many candidates are in my niche? Then getting that data set built, getting a CAS built. So the foundation parts. So building data sets, completing a client attainment system. So these are two examples, which are not done often or a shortcut is taken and it's bitten that person in the bum. So one particular business, they went from 300K to 600K, and if you go to model success in Scale, you'll find this session, it would have been 750K in that year if they'd done the data sets properly. So that's 150K by not doing the data sets or completely. And it would have been a VA task for about probably 40 hours. That would have cost a few $100s, 150K. So the shortcut is not benefiting you. Can't stress that enough. Next, forgetting the 2-6 rule. So remember this, there are only 2 ways to grow your business. Increase the volume, i.e. more leads, more candidates, more qualified, more conversion appointments, etc. Or we increase the conversion. So increase the number of leads that turn to appointments. Convert more appointments. have a campaign that gets a higher conversion. Forgetting that, we get into our daily grind and we forget, right, what are the two questions? Conversion and volume. Next, not sending enough messages. So if you're running double R or LinkedIn campaigns as an example, whether it be to use a podcast strategy or to use a MPC strategy or a most sellable role strategy to candidates, one of the biggest problems I see is we are just not sending enough volume. So in the niche, it might be, say, 10,000 clients. And in the first month, we sent 400. Next month, 600. What are you doing? What are you doing? You could conceivably run all 10,000 every single month with a different campaign. So it'd be a completely different message. So we won't be spamming it at all, which we cover in the campaign planning blueprint. So not sending enough messages is one of the biggest problems that I see. Just not sending the volume. Just not sending the volume. Very simple. Next, focusing on just one of the 3 steps. So someone might be focusing on just on getting leads, but not dealing with the conversion piece or the candidate piece. We get focused on just one piece of it and we become an expert at just one of them. No, we need the leads, the conversion and delivery. That's how you get paid. Next, ignoring the mindset side of the process. So remember, there are 2 fundamental parts, the mental and the strategic. So every success story has both, the mental side and the strategy. So if you want to get these big results, you need to accept that the mental side and the strategy side are equally important. So that means, as I said, in the morning, how you wake up, how you operate, being clear about what are my metrics, not getting into an erratic environment, which is often recruitment, but it's like, right, let's get organized. Goal for the next 90 days is what? Goal for the next 30 days is what? You do your 30-day plans. Next, working on anything that's not directly measurable to attaining your outcome. So when you start an accelerator, stick close to the money. If you've got a pipeline, close it off. If you need leads, clients, get them in. But as you progress into build, you start to build an asset, then a scalable business. And never forget your scorecard is your bank balance and then your work-life balance. So there's no reason why you can't launch. So if you're been working for the man and you're now starting your own business, there's no reason why you cannot launch or relaunch. So you've been in business 2, 3, 4 years, but it's just not quite taken off. Or scale. You've been at 400K, you've been plateauing there now for a number of years. There's no reason why you can't make this the time right now, either with or without previous success. Now, I expect big things from this group, So I know that you're serious about this. That's why you're here. So remember this, it's your time. Everything you're going through has been done before. If you got on every single call, every Q&A call, or if you used the Facebook group and you asked questions or you searched, you're going to be leaps and leaps ahead of your competition like you wouldn't believe. So now is your time. Now, some friendly competition. When you get your first fee in, post it in the Facebook group. Now, what I've seen in the last few months is, for some reason, a complete sense of humbleness. So we get emailed at support@recruitmentmarketinginternational.com. Put it in the Facebook group, guys. Share when you get your first fee in from these new strategies. Next, when you get your first 6 figures in, let us know. So use new strategy, you place 5 placements of 20K, let us know. We'll get you onto a personal launch plan for your next 90 days. When you get to your 7 figures, let us know. Give us the metrics. I'll get on a launch plan with you for your next year, 90 days and 30 days. So think about this. What you're about to go through is the perfectly engineered change agent. It's proven. Now, it works if you do. So we turn the unknown grey area into a precise science. So we got this old school big biller. So that personality, that person has got this X factor that they can close people or whatever it might be. We're not about that. We're about, building a systematic approach to clients and candidates, both sides, retain business, highest fees, niche domination, authority, leadership, growth. Remember, you're now in a group of cool people. I've seen a direct correlation over the years between those who do their 30-day sprints. So if you search for 30 days, you'll find it. but you do your 30-day sprint beginning of every month. You don't let the 30 days go over onto the second or the third. You bring it down like an axe. It's the end of the month. So be active in the community, reach out to people, connect, and do your 30-day plans. New paradigm. So we've reverse engineered what it takes to be successful. So this way of thinking is almost like a new operating system in your mind. And I get it might be a little bit fractious first of all. It's like, yeah, but. So I've said in one of the previous messages or slides, set aside 2 hours a day to start with. Now we've had members come in. I remember I mentioned Ken earlier, 30k to 250k a month. I mentioned Ross. And with Ken as an example, when Ken came in, went through Ken's game plan. I said, Ken, right, do this, do this. And so you've got legacy, what you've always done, you've got transition, then you've got new world. I said, I recommend you do this. And part of his transition was going from, I can't remember exactly, but I think 4 niches down to 1. Anyway, he left that call, literally straight after it, boom. He cut off the other 3 niches, went into the niche that we discussed and assessed. I'm not saying you do that. I'm saying set aside a couple of hours to start with. Obviously, the more effort you put in, the more you're going to get rewarded. So what we've covered, the uniform failure, what to spot. If you're prone to a negative mindset, the new you, best version of yourself, keeping it simple, the pitfalls, no reason why. So friendly competition, but also some big bonuses for you. And the perfectly engineered change agent. So guys, now's the time. Girls, it's now the time. Let's do this. Now the mantra, I've said this a few times, but I just want to recap on this. You are a business owner, not a recruiter. Recruitment search is the lifeblood that gets you paid, but you're a business owner. Also know this, you're never going to feel ready. You're never going to feel ready. Just do it. Know that action beats perfection, and that action is going to give you a result. And do you know what? You're going to get some results, and then there might be a few bumps there, but you want more of that than nothing. If I could do the procrastinator or the bull in the china shop, it'd be the bull in the china shop every time. So be prolific, not perfect. See you on the inside.